What's up, y'all? My name is Dumptruck. Welcome to another episode of Chasing the Ride podcast, brought to you by Rider Justice, protecting riders of all kinds. If you need any information on Rider Justice, riderjustice.com is where you can find them. I'm hanging out with my man, the Justice of Riders, Mr. Scott O'Sullivan of the O'Sullivan Law Firm.
Thank you, Dumptruck. Thank you. And once again, thank you to the Colorado Motorcycle Expo for letting us be on stage, the craziest thing. We always had our little thing over in the corner, and now here we are. And
we're all grown up.
Yeah, that's right. And now we're going to shine the light on you guys. and so please, I already know who you guys are, but please introduce yourselves to the world, please. Paul, start with you.
Yeah, I'm Paul Kraus. I'm with the Colorado Vintage Motorcycle Show up in Erie, and I guess we'll talk a little bit about old bikes and
all the things.
Life on two wheels, maybe three if we get it there, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. How about you, Andy?
I'm Andy Smith. Got my own business, the Wax Room Performance Detailing. Been at it over 40 years now. Love every kind of vehicle, especially motorcycles.
I love that. You know, we have that in common, no doubt. And let's just talk about the attendance at this show today. Yeah. I've been coming to this show for over 15 years, and the attendance here, I feel like, is elevated. We've got more bikes than ever before, more reasons for us to connect and relate to all of that. So fire away at question number one. It tends to be what sets the tone.
What we always try to do is just start off first bike, first memories of riding. What was it? How did it start for you?
Well, this is going to come off a little weird, but it starts with my dad's Whizzer.
Excellent.
Let's back up a little bit. Growing up on a farm in western Kansas, we had three-wheelers, and that was kind of a life for us on raising cattle and farm crops and stuff. But in the back of the barn was my dad's 1947 Whizzer that he bought new when he was a junior in high school.
That's right.
He put it in the back of the barn, joined the Navy, flew. Fast forward to 2009, I took it over and restored it. That little bike, in all of its dorkiness, has provided more entertainment than you could even shake a stick at. So that's I've been a late bloomer to the motorcycle world, but it's become one of those pieces that helps connect the universe together.
So for morons like me, and maybe this is what we were talking about earlier, like little B-roll footage, I don't know what a Whizzer is.
All right. In 1939, a company out of L.A. started to create kit motors to put on balloon tire bicycles.
Oh.
And so fast forward to the 40s and 50s post-war, they were able to stay open. They lobbied to Congress to stay open because they were vital to the keeping America going. They produced a number of models. Mine is a Model H, and they produced about 139,000 units of that. It sits on a Schwinn balloon tire bicycle frame that was modified by Schwinn at the factory, and it'll do about 30, 40 mile an hour downhill with the wind.
With the wind at your back.
Yeah. And it's the fastest 35 mile an hour you'll have with all the smiles, and it gets a lot of attention.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love those kind of bikes, and I know, Andy, this is talking your true love too, but what was your first ride, first bike, first experience?
It started out very early for me, 10 years old. I had at least, it was a neighbor friend of mine. I got invited to watch a movie in town for his birthday on any Sunday. So it's really that's where it all started for me. Mini bikes. That's where I started doing wheelies. I'm the wheelie guy.
I mean, this dude, he's got hips for days.
I'm saying.
It's amazing.
Really, that whole movie affected me as a kid to this very day. I am living that lifestyle. Always have. It really, I'm pretty fortunate to have all the riding, everything I've done. You've been out to my ranch.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah,
He's got this whole track in the back, and his barn or your shop is amazing. It's got so many treasures in there.
I make a lot of people happy.
How dare you?
Yeah.
I put smiles on their faces. The giggle factor is always on pegged. That's really what I'm doing here towards the end of my career, is more teaching, instruction, mechanic.
A lot of dirt bike stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I run a very unique little school for young kids, even to adults. It's a ride and wrench class. So they'll come on out, take an hour lesson riding an XR100 on the dirt track oval, flat track. And then they come on in and we put the bike up on a lift and go through chain adjustments, spokes, anything that needs to be addressed on the bike, maintenance, safety. And it's just gone over the top for me. So that's really where everything's really fun.
Well, that's awesome. It's almost like your career has literally built to that moment where you've gathered these experiences, you've
100%.
gathered this knowledge, and now it's your turn to share it.
And when you give, you get. And it comes right back at you in spades. That's what's just blowing me away. This opportunity right here and now and today is one of those times for me. I thank you, Scott, for letting me be part of this.
Well, thank you for all the really cool stuff. We'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah,
These projects that are coming up.
Oh, yeah.
But, one of the things that, people who watch our podcast know is really important to me and Dumptruck in particular is this passing along the knowledge, right? And that's just so crucial. We've now talked about it 3 times today, and it's so important. And one of the things that I've vicariously gotten to see is you doing it with like Case, right? And building that relationship with him and Alex and the really cool stuff you guys do and passing that on it's just awesome. And I think it's just so important.
Well, it really is for me, seeing and meeting Alex and Case, that was just, that's where that all started. Yeah. The charity bike we did, all of that, it's really just been, since I met those two, it's been over the top. Now, I don't work for TFL. I'm not paid by them. I volunteer everything I do for them to get this knowledge out there, and how this pays me back, it pays in spades. So I've never regretted a minute of giving it away.
Yeah, and for the viewers out there that don't know what TFL is, what you just said, it's the Fastlane channel studio, and they do Fastlane Bike, which I've now sponsored for years, and they just do a great job. And I love that they're local, and they find really cool things to do. And I know that you guys know each other because of one of the things you do, which is one of the coolest shows here in Colorado.
Yeah, thanks. It's kind of funny. I picked up a Honda Trail 90, 69 Honda Trail 90 once, and of course I'm a certified YouTube mechanic at this point. And one of the videos that popped up was
dangerous.
Was Case working on one of theirs, and this is during COVID, and just trying to find what I could do. And I'm like, there's a lot. Smoking in the background, some forest fires happening, and then there's Colorado plates. I'm like, hey, and fast forward a couple of months, and I'm in a brewery in Lafayette, Colorado, and I look at that table, I walk out, and those guys look familiar, and I walk back in and introduce myself, and, there starts one of the circles.
Yes.
And then that circle expanded to getting introduced to Andy, and now I go out to his place, and we've all become friends, and then this happens. And it just, this whole thing is really blown my mind how we can bring it together.
It really grows.
Yeah. And it's drawn people together. Andy's like, I didn't know this thing existed. When I first met, I remember his expression when he came to our show 2 years ago, and he just, the smile, you barely wiped it off his face.
Yeah.
And then last year, I've got videos of him on Case's Motocompo, swirling around, and that was the end of the show. So we just have this connection, and yes, it's bridging old knowledge or seasoned knowledge.
He just called you old.
Let's call it seasoned knowledge, and passing it down. I'm trying to pass. Let's call it a bridge link between us to Alex and Case, and they got things to teach us. It's a two-way street. I'm not an
totally
expert.
Yeah.
And they show us things that are amazing. They put themselves out there, and we want to continue to grow in that manner, because it's an open community that we have that brings a lot of knowledge. And if we don't latch onto that, we've lost something.
Yeah, shame on us.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So you danced around it, but tell us, what is your show that you
All
do?
right.
Yeah.
So 2009.
You just got serious there. Like, all right,
Stop screwing around. Tell us what you do.
let's go.
Let me take a drink. Bob Kelly, a good friend of mine, lives in Erie. He started this show out of the observation that there were no ride-in, ride-out events that were just free meetups. He tried coffee meetups and things like that, but he started it at Heritage Square, which is over in Golden, RIP. But it was a great place to be. And when he was trying to shop that around, that's how I met him. He came to a car show. I had just restored Dad's Whizzer. And the very first show, I'm in a car show with I brought a knife to a gunfight type of thing, but I had this bike, and this guy said, holy crap, a Whizzer, and instant friendship. I've known him for a long, over 10 years at this point. And he opened up this show with no awards, no egos, always free. It comes out of our passion, our part of our hobby. And the only requirement is your bike has to be 25 years or older. That's it. All displacements, all makes. We've counted over 45 makes worldwide that have attended
awesome.
at times. And it brings people together. We try to support local independent shops, let them pop up a booth. Thank you, Rider Justice, for water last year. That was very welcome on a kind of sizzly day. But it's really like, how do we bring our community together? How do we bring our community to the hard workers who went out on their own to set up shop, and then also bring friends together? I get comments all the time like, this is the one day of the year I get to see all my friends in one spot.
Yeah, right.
And that says a lot.
It's a parking
That's
lot
a job
of
well done.
sharing. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing I see every time. The 2 times that I've been, I'm like, every time you're going to meet somebody new and they got something really cool to share or say or trade, or just, I had one of those, and the stories are incredible. That's what makes the day fun.
Yeah, I don't know if we have enough time for all the stories, but one from last year was a gentleman with a Vincent Black Shadow. He just converted it to electric start. 80-year-old man. He still wanted to ride. He couldn't kick it over, but he brought it. And I'm like, those are the little moments of like, and he still showed up.
There was we had a party last night, and I saw you last night, and you shared a story with me that I'd love for you to recount of a couple, and it involves a motorcycle in Europe. And
this one's pretty touching. There's a gentleman in Old Town area has a neat mid-50s BMW with a sidecar, and he brought it up. He brings it up most every year. And he's got a nice placard. He hand wrote all the details about the bike. Really old school, kind of rustic, very patinaed. But it wasn't about him and his bike, but it was about this older couple that came over. And the husband looked at his wife and he said, when we were escaping Eastern Europe, this is what I wrote on the back of my dad riding. And
it makes me.
I'm
not crying. You're crying.
Thanks, Scott.
Oh no, I'm crying.
But that's our why. You can't anticipate. We got about 5 whys, but that's the big one to bring the unexpected together. You never know when that energy is going to come up. You never know what's going to show up either. Every year, it's who worked on restored a bike over the winter. They're excited to get it out and show it off. Are they looking for a trophy? No. Their pat on the back is good enough and actually tell stories. So we got something, and I think Bob Kelly's really set that in stone. And people, will talk about, well, you're leaving money on the table. You're doing all, you could be making all this. You could be selling T-shirts and all this stuff. I put together some show posters. I love to do vintage-inspired graphic design. We have a local printer who helps me out. We sell enough of those that basically covers all of our basics. And the rest of that, it's how it goes.
Yeah, that's perfect. And so, Andy, I mean, we touched on your shop a little bit, and how many disassembled bikes do you have in your garage, do you think? Of trail 90s, trail, 125s, 75s, all 12 of them.
17.
That's it?
Yeah, there was 40.
That's what I thought.
Wow, you've been busy.
Obviously, as I'm getting towards the end of my career, I'm selling a lot of stuff off. So I'm really, that's kind of where I'm at with the 17 that I have left. I'm also, that was one of the reasons for the charity build. I've had so many of these and so many good customers behind it that it's really, again, giving it away is not a big deal. Right. But I'm actually, Aaron Colton, he's a freestyle free rider, wheelies, nose
Red
wheels.
Bull rider.
Yeah, Red Bull rider.
Very nice guy.
I went to, he was 16 years old. This was in 2009. I went to Rich Oliver's Mystery School in California. It's a flat track pro course training school. He was in the same class I was. And I've had more fun with that side of this story that I'm hoping that I'm going to contact him. Yeah, I haven't seen him, talked to him since we did that school together. But this is what I want to throw at him is those 17 bikes. He built a Trail 70 on his channel. You know how he does the complete rebuild, all the coatings. They're absolutely pristine, and his videos are awesome. But I want to do a charity thing with him as well. See if we can't get 17 groups out there.
Nice.
And each take a bike and build it, and then we have a runoff, and then a giveaway.
I think that's awesome. Are y'all still in touch with each other?
Pardon me?
Are y'all still in touch with each other?
No, he's going to freak out when I get a hold of him, for sure.
I got his number in that little phone right there.
I have everything I need, but I've been waiting for the right time, and this is going to be my year to do that. I think I really want to see these bikes. They're 70 through 71 only, so the early model Trail 70s. And I really want to see him go to, instead of going to eBay and being sold for stupid money, I want just more notice on these bikes, bringing more people in, getting people into riding. I mean, that's Honda's whole philosophy that you and I are going to talk about here with the DAX 125. This is what gets people into riding, is the mini bikes first. And I, even a crowd like this, I can take them back to the 70s where Harley Davidson had mini bikes.
Yeah.
An SX90, an SX 125. They were made in Italy, but they were two strokes. Yeah. They were very popular. They got kids on bikes. And that's how you're going to keep this thing growing here as we age out and time out and everything else that's going on. We got to get the kids in there. So,
and it's also a great reminder. The bike that you built a few years ago, I rode it for a little while, and it brings so many smiles to your face, like your dad's Whizzer and things like that. It's fun, and it reminds you of why you love to ride.
Yeah.
Inner child is everything.
Totally.
You get to touch it all the time.
Before I got involved with the Vintage Motorcycle Show, Bob, we're in between Heritage Square and where we are now, and a couple of years we ran at Colorado National Speedway, and Jim, the track owner, rolled up in his 47 Cushman, AMA t-shirt on, and he looks at me and goes, "You want to race?" I've got a photo of the two of us. It's the fastest 35 mile an hour, and we're tucked in. It's so good, but this is a guy who had a nitro dragster erupt on him.
Yeah.
And he survived, and he's such a good dude. But you take these two guys, that smile is hard to wipe off your face.
What is it about the small displacement motorcycles that does that to us? Because, I love horsepower. I'm building my FXR out right now to be a ripper. I've got a 117 motor in my bagger. I like being able to, hit it and get it. but I don't smile nearly as big as when I've got a pull start situation in front of me.
It's usually because I like to call mine the ice cream run. And you ride in and you go to the little ice cream shop or Dairy Queen and get something sweet, and it's just a destination and back.
So it was racing for me. I road raced and I flat tracked, but pit bikes. I mean, that's
even those
really
are so fun.
Yeah,
They're so great.
That's really where it all started for me back in the day. The attention that I got with my Trail 70 when I was road racing in the 80s was like, oh my God, that's an old bike, and now look at it. It's 50 plus years old, and but that's what started that whole passion for me was the pit bike. And now it's just gone to crazy, and you saw what we got for. Matter of fact, I wanted to let you know I'm still in touch with Evan, who won the bike.
Awesome. So this is the guy that won his build that he did a couple of years ago.
Total beginner, never ridden before, and he won the bike.
That's
And
awesome. That's exactly where
so-
it needs to go, right?
Well, and he came to pick it up from my shop, and I said, dude, you got an hour or two? He goes, well, my flight's going to be...
I forgot about that. That's right.
And I said, just stay an hour. So I gave him a quick lesson out on the track, and he's just been gassed ever since.
That's so awesome.
He was like, I needed that. So I'm glad he didn't take it away not knowing how to ride it.
I wish I would have known Andy beforehand. A year before, I'd built a little mini bike, little pit bike, but my son and I, it was our project, and we went to Harbor Freight, picked up the 212 Predator, nice little swap, new tires. He whiskey throttled it right into the neighbor's rock garden, and I really needed an Andy teacher at that point.
Yeah.
That would have been good, but that was way too much for a 12-year-old boy. On the inside, it was a great idea.
Yeah, your inner 12-year-old is like, do it.
Oh,
You should have had that when you were 12. Do it. And you're like, oh no!
my video doorbell caught everything.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
We're going to need to see that.
Yeah, we're going to need to see that.
Those are definitely good to see. And whiskey throttle, if anybody doesn't know, it's when you turn the throttle,
It just hang on.
pulls you back, and it gets even more floored. So it's not letting off.
We had put a stage
Physics
2 kid.
takes over, and you don't have an option but to throttle out. There's no other position anymore until you fall off.
Exactly. So let's talk about the DAX project you're working on now. And so earlier, near the end of 25, I reached out to Case, and we were just talking about stuff, and I was like, hey, I'd love to do another, some sort of giveaway, something to help nonprofit. And he's like, I've got this idea that I want to do with Andy. And I was like, well, let's do that. And so maybe tell, our people that don't know, what you guys are doing, what the plan is.
Again, TFLBike on YouTube. Their channel, Case, who I work with, they picked up a brand new 2025, right? DAX 125 Honda. And it's what we did is we brought it up to the shop. We put it on the lift, and we did a comparison to my 1970 sapphire blue Honda Trail 70. And it's really going to be a fun project. I can't even. So the 125 DAX is more of a street bike, turn signals, smooth tires, all that. Case and I are going to actually turn the thing into a little bit more of like a Trail 70. We're going to put some more aggressive tires on it, raise the front fender, do all sorts of little things so that we can go to Moab and run these things.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear and see those stories. And then ultimately the goal is to auction it off again.
Yes.
And this year the charity is the Motorcycle Relief Project.
Yep.
Which is a great veterans organization. These guys take them out. You go check them out online, Motorcycle Relief Project. And they work with veterans on ADV bikes. And they take them out on these multi-day.
And what a great idea.
It's amazing.
And plan. I mean, I can't say enough about that. I would also love to be part of that on the back end, whoever wins it.
Totally.
I just to find out more about what's going on with that.
Yeah, and as the project goes along, we'll definitely get you guys together with them because you'll love Michael Bobbitt is the head of it.
They are a joy to work with.
Yeah, and
you just end up wanting to hang out.
Yeah, and I'm talking like seriously changing and saving lives, quite literally.
Completely understand that. Yeah. I've done that with a 5-year-old. Took my school, and 2 days before his mother brought him up to take my lessons, she had called me up and said, the reason I'm doing this is he's going to have open heart surgery in 2 weeks. Wow. So you can understand where I was with that. And this kid was, and he's still riding today. He did make it through all of that. Awesome. It was a really great story. But I understand that feeling because this kid knew what he was going through and what he had to do. And he climbed on this bike and tore it up. Couldn't stop. I actually gave him the bike after his surgery. He had some healing to do. I gave him the bike for 6 months just to go and peel around on his property. Awesome. So that was a good deal. That was fun. So I understand.
To be your neighbor.
Yeah, totally.
Must be so joyous.
You know, Dumptruck, that's I got some neighbors that don't like me.
I bet they're real fun at parties.
I don't go to their parties.
Yeah. We're going to need some tissues at some point.
Oh my God, they're killing us over here. Totally. So you have a funny story, Paul? Come on, help us out over here.
Let's see. Not so much. I do want, if I could so much, like our show, we're talking about helping kids. Yeah. And one of the things that also has kind of fallen into our purview and we're somewhat active in is helping support the Morgan Adams Foundation.
Say it again.
The Morgan Adams Foundation. They support the Front Range area for pediatric cancer research and supporting families with kids that are going through some pretty hard times. Yeah. And they put on probably the premier Concours event down at Centennial Airport every August, where you have 2 airplane hangars, some of the Denver area's best restaurants providing food and drink, a airport apron full of airplanes, vintage and new, sports cars, everything exotic, and motorcycles. So we usually are helping find roughly 100 bikes for them to consider being a part of it. And up to this point, they're well over $1 million in one night in fundraising.
Wow, that's amazing.
And again, I go back to my silly little hobby has some impact, and it's like when I've taken my daughter who's sitting out here in the front, I've taken my son and my wife, that's Kate, and just to say this is our community, and the Morgan Adams Foundation, they've been very, very active in the world and in the Front Range world, and there was a young man who probably wasn't going to make it. And I was invited to a ranch up kind of by the TFL ranch in a way, actually, outside of Berthoud. And they were doing a photo shoot, horse riding, lunch and stuff, and they said, can you bring a couple of bikes? I said, absolutely. So Kate and I took a trailer up, and they did a photo shoot, and, here's the Eli. Because what we can do and move forward in this space really helps those who are going through it the hardest. And for one night, for them to do that, you've got 9 News as the MC for the evening. And we're working with Haggerty, and actually Kate last year was the junior judge handler for the kids, and just getting involved, not just being passive, but being active in this space. It's the growth rings on a tree of how we work and live and walk across this earth.
Totally.
And if we're not doing it, who's going to do it?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in, this is how I was raised. My mom, very community active. Volin told me to do a ton of stuff when I was a kid. It imprinted. And
I'm going to steal that.
And I've done it to my boys. You're doing it with your daughter. And I think it's so like, get out there. One of the things I just had this conversation with my son the other night is it's up to you. you guys got to start your own communities. You got to, like, this is why we're having these talks. You got to be a part of things. You got to be out there doing the thing. Handle it. And you're going to make great friendships, and you're going to do really cool things, and you're going to make, change people's lives. It could just be, that could have been his only ride and joy in his last days, right? You don't know. That was on your heart.
It put a little fear in me for sure when his mom had said that to me. Yeah. But that's kind of why she explained it to me, why she did that. She didn't want me to think about that because she had set this lesson up a month in advance through a friend of a friend. But that communication that I had, especially with him, I still have them. The crayon pictures that he drew of himself riding the Yamaha TT.
Cute.
Yeah, oh my gosh. All the stuff that came over from the house after his surgery was amazing. That's what really was pretty touching.
That's awesome. And I think even if you didn't set out to like make that big a difference and do the things with the charity you were just talking about, once you see it, you can't turn away. And then you just like, all right, how do I help? What do I got to do?
I've got 7 challenge coins now. They give to everybody who provides a vehicle. And I have those in my garage. I've got just a nice memory display of things. And, they're open. They're always looking for refreshing the display. They don't want the same display every year.
I got an old 72 Chevelle. I'll get it down there.
They don't do hot rods. Sorry.
Oh, this is not really a hot rod. It's,
Couple years ago, they had a whole lineup of it was British vehicles, and they had a lot of European stuff or Ferraris and Porsches.
Fancy.
Yeah, this farm kid kind of. I acclimate, it's fine, but I think it's reaching out. They do have a submit your vehicle form online every year. They do want to meet new people. Fun story. You wanted something fun. Back in the 80s, I had a 67 Plymouth Belvedere, and my best friend had a 69 Camaro. And I
love those 69 Camaros.
And we used to show together in high school at various car shows. Well, fast forward to last year, he flies out some fancy airplane that he picks up because he's a pilot, and I had my 1978 CB400 twin, and they're both red, and we got to park together. So after 35 years, we're still showing our vehicles together.
I love that.
And at the Morgan Adams Foundation Concours event, it's how. Again, maybe we're not making immediate connections, but we're reconnecting those old connections in a lot of powerful ways. So, if you're not creating your fun, if you're not having fun, create your fun.
Totally agree.
I'm in the middle of learning a lot about that right now because I've never had a local community really in my life. One of the most local communities I had is when I lived here in Denver. But I lived on the road with no address for most of my adult life. I've actually had an address for over 5 years now. I'm adulting super hard. Yeah, only took 41 years to get that going. Yeah. But now that I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I really like being there, and I've got this great job as marketing manager of a Harley dealership there, and my job is to generate that community around the building, and it's really intimidating because I kind of don't remember how to act. Like I'm used to showing up, leaving, and that's kind of like how it goes. My best friends are always everywhere else, and I've got this big need for my own local community, and it's starting to grow. I'm starting to get some tight homies there in town where we're always looking for each other, checking in on each other, making fun of each other, and just hearing the stories about the benefits of simply being the catalyst of community, bringing people together, sharing knowledge, and all that stuff. It really empowers me right now.
Yeah, it's a real deal. I'd say you want to empower that shop you're at. I would literally bring an old pull start mini bike up there and just park it out in front.
That paperwork has literally already been submitted.
Okay.
Yeah, mini bike. They were like, really? You think people will do that?
Attention.
I'm like, just watch.
Yeah, no, it's a real deal, especially those old steel frame mini bikes of the 60s and 70s that were in the back of Popular Science magazine and all that, for $120.
The true boonie bikes.
Yeah. Lawnmower, Briggs & Stratton, Tecumseh.
Yeah.
We used to throw the rods through those things, taking the governor off them, and all good stuff, but you'll get some attention with those for sure.
I think we're going to start organizing, because we have bike nights from the beginning of April to the end of September every single Friday. And every Friday's a little bit different, and I'm wanting to do like a regular mini bike series for some of our bike games, because I have never laughed like more of a female child than when I'm on a mini bike. It's just what they do.
And anybody who's, I grew up on a big piece of property in New Jersey, which is a weird thing to say together in these words, but I did grow up on a farm. And we all had those experiences, whether it's a friend down the street that had the mini bike, whether it was, for me, my first real experience with any sort of two wheels with a motor was my dad got a DUI and he needed to get a moped to get to work. And thanks, Dad. And so I started riding that thing when I was 12 or 13, whatever it was. And that's where you learn to work on carburetors. That's where you learn to how do I keep this thing running?
That's where it all started for me.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really the big key was that and staying away from the cops. I had.
Although I was never out running anybody on my dad's thing. Yeah.
Well, we didn't.
I was running through backyards and all that to get away or another street, but because my father said if they come and impound your bike, you'll never see it again. It's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And we had neighbors back then that would call the police, and there's that kid riding a mini bike out there. And so, yeah, no, that was always fun. I never did get caught.
We didn't have the cops 20 miles out of town, but I had my dad, which was just as bad. But there was one night, we had a Honda 185S, and it was his three-wheeler. Like when we ran cattle, he rode the bike, and we ran to herd them into the corral and stuff. But after school, was doing figure eights on a little cow water pond on the ice, and he wasn't home yet. And I remember going one more pass, and you heard the crack.
Oh no!
And I went through, and I'm about 15 feet from shore. Fortunately, it's a shallow pond. I was knee deep, and I broke ice to the shore faster than I knew any human could possibly get us to ice.
Yeah.
My mom's probably going to hear this podcast later and I didn't know that story. I got it home. I took all the moss and everything out of that thing and got it cleaned up, and before anybody could know it. So
Nothing happened.
Everyone, we always ask each other when we walk by, hey, how's it going? Hey, what's up? Hey, this, that, and the other. My most common answer is getting away with it. They're like, well, that really is kind of the key. I've never had a good time getting caught, ever.
And the thing is, when you have that happen, or me with my friends and I kind of working on our bikes just to kind of keep them running, there was nowhere for us to buy things. No. You just fixed it somehow. And we didn't know what the frick we were doing, right? But that's how you learn. You're having fun. You're breaking down on the road together. You're figuring out how to get it going again together. And, it's just awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun. I'll talk about, fast forward to now, and it's kind of bringing Andy and I back together. A couple weeks ago, I've been helping a buddy of mine and his son working on another Trail 90. And in the throttle slide, where the cable connects, and there's a little clip that the cable connects into that goes into the slide, that had snapped. And it was going to be like $30 eBay or whatever else to get that part. And I just texted Andy, I'm like, hey, any chance in your big archive of stuff? And he's like, let me look. And Andy comes back, and this is the funny thing, that little part's about this big, and I went to go pick it up, and we talked for an hour over the fence. It was an hour. That's what happens when you go to Andy's place. But it got us one step further to getting that thing running. And, my buddy Kevin and his son Bryce, we're trying to get this thing running and little bits at a time as the warmer weather starts to show up. So hopefully we can get that thing running here pretty soon and get them right. But it's, again, passing down that knowledge as much as we can to make sure that it's not lost, that it gets them excited. It's not a chore. It's actually you want to go out to the garage. You want to go. I want to go to Andy's house. I want to go to Camp Andy every weekend if I could.
Yeah, we all want to do that. And I think what's funny is, so we're at live in front of the expo. Could you imagine putting these thumping speakers on the DAX?
No, I got one little story I got to tell because you asked me earlier about how many bikes I have.
Yeah.
So, along with my dirty deeds of riding on the streets like I shouldn't have been as a kid, my father always said, if it goes away, it stays away. I actually bought my first bike. It was a Honda CR 125 two-stroke dirt bike. It was a 73 or 74. And it was 2 years old. I bought it from my friend with my paper route money and everything else, shoveling driveways, the whole 9 yards. I grew up in upstate New York, and I really just, my father was always, no, you're not going to have a bike. You're not going to have it. Oh, well, if you can afford one and pay for it yourself, you can have one. I did. I brought it home.
Little did he know.
And the only regret I had on that was to not leave it at my buddy's house, because as soon as it went in the garage, he said, absolutely not under my roof. That's not going to happen. And then, you're 18, you can do whatever you want. So I was like, all right. It was either the Navy or the community college, and I said, nah on both. And I got myself a one-way Amtrak ticket to Colorado.
That's how you end up in Colorado.
$600 cash at 18 years old by myself.
You're like, screw you, Dad, I'm riding a motorcycle.
No way.
And so all the Trail 70s that I had, the 40 plus that I had, that was one for every time he said no to me.
I love that. It's awesome.
I love it. I need to ride. I've never ridden a Trail 90 before. I need to invite myself out to your house and jump on one.
Camp Andy.
Say what?
Camp Andy.
Camp Andy, yeah, absolutely.
You would love it. XR100s are my premium bikes that I train people on. And I get more of the, oh, that's a girl's bike. I go, well, I'll tell you what. Yeah. When you get all your best friends, and I have, up to 4 or 5 guys, roommates, friends, come on out. And it's funny because they all, no, they're all the same. Nothing's faster, so it's you that has to be fast, not the bike. Yes, it's a spec. And so it really makes them grow up really fast.
Yeah,
it's
that is
hey,
awesome.
He's really fast. How is he going so fast? I go, he's been taking lessons.
Nice.
And you're married to that brake. You should leave it alone.
Sliding is braking.
I definitely want to
There
learn
is
how
no
to slide.
brakes. There
Brakes
you
are
just
for
slide.
Brakes are for losers.
I love it. So I have some friends of mine that do a lot of like cannonball run stuff, all on pre-World War II Harley Davidsons and before that. Do y'all do any events like that as well? Do you do any distance riding on old bikes?
Boy, in my younger days, I did. We had a Cycles of Boulder back in the days. We had a Memorial Day ride. So it's a big loop in Colorado. And man, I did that 3 years in a row, and what fun that was. We'd have up to 75 riders. Every year, State Patrol knew we were coming. So Buena Vista, any of that areas down in there, that was always a kick. But anybody and everybody and any bike was always welcome. It was never and it was camping and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that in-state, that's what I did. I'd love to do something cross-country.
Yeah. What would you ride if you had to pick a bike, whether you own it or not? Like, what would you really want to ride cross-country like that? Like, we're talking 500 or so miles a day. And the bike may not be able to do that. It could be 250 miles a day.
What do you think, Paul? What would you ride?
Yeah.
That's a hard one because
It is a hard one.
the bikes find me, that whatever I'm riding, and I've had a dream of, I've always wanted to go up to Rocky Mountain National Park, and I've told Andy this before, and ride one of the Trail 90s, Trail 70s. The 90s have that little altitude
I was about to ask about
Adjustment
that.
on the carpet. Yep.
that adjusts over 6,000 feet accordingly. But you need somebody like Andy in your corner if you're going to do something like this. But I'd love to start out at the base of Rocky Mountain National Park, go up Old Fall River Road, stop off at, get a picnic, go, have fun with it, but summit to 12,000 feet. That's been a champion. What would I ride? Put something under me and let's go. But I would, if I'm with you. I get excited to hop on something. I know my back would really hate it, but the late nights, the camaraderie that you see passively on social media, these guys are in it. They're in it together. Watching Transamerica this last time, they came through Kansas and stopped at Twisted Oz in Augusta, Kansas with Kelly Modlin. And, I've been through that museum a couple of times. Kansas actually has a couple of really nice motorcycle museums that are just gems. But you look, just say, hey, Paul, let's hop on that one. Yes. Let's go.
Yeah, I would be that same way. I'd be more on not wanting to pick a bike, but almost more of a run what you brung. As a mechanic, I've always liked that challenge of it might fail. Well, it might not.
Those are literally the bikes I want to ride. I don't want to ride a fuel-injected anything. Like, if I'm getting to choose and I'm going to have the experience I want to know that I'm going to need an extra belt or a chain. I want to know that I'm going to need a real tool roll, which you can win at Rider Justice over
That's
the booth
right.
right
Sign
now.
up down.
Yeah, no, that's
the experience I like the most. Because
Yeah.
something is going to happen.
Yep.
And I've had some really rad experiences when it hit the fan and I'm by myself trying to figure it out as a guy with hands made of thumbs, but it always turned out fine. I always got home.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I'd want to approach that. Kind of a vice grip garage type thing, just make it run and let's see if we can get across country with that.
I became a part of the shifter crew last year on the FXR. I was shifting gears. Actually, on the way to one of your events in Nashville with vice grips. I was like, man, this is the worst thing
there
ever.
You go. That's classic.
It's like, but we did it.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of these from people.
Yeah. Yeah, Eddie got the stories. So one of the final questions we've been asking, and maybe this isn't the right one because we're just talking about long rides, but when you used to do those long rides, what was your go-to food that you loved for the long ride?
Boy, a lot of the Memorial Day rides we did, we had a couple of trucks following us or vans, and they had we would literally, if we were doing anything, it was snacking along the way. Our camping was where the gourmet food was all being done. We didn't eat along the way. We would ride to where we wanted, camp, set up camp, food, fires, bonfires, all night long, too. We didn't... Well, you guys didn't get any sleep. Yeah, we're ready to ride.
It's like, we came here to have a good time. Did you know?
So,
how about you, Paul?
I mentioned it before, but if there's an ice cream shop, I'm going to stop. It could be across town, it could be way across town, or just a mile away. Just something sweet. But you start out on the day, go for a ride. Even locally, we've got a great little bakery that makes some good sandwiches and something. Just put a little gas in the tank and ride. But I'm a regional. I travel with my stomach, so if it's local, let's eat it. So I
like it.
I'm not picky.
Traveling with your stomach, and we did talk about this a little bit before the show, but traveling with your stomach is the best way to tackle any travel experience. I don't care what your goal is. Find out where you're going to feed yourself and do it on purpose, if you can, instead of out of convenience, and the whole trip changes. You can do the same miles, laugh at the same jokes, but if you ate a bunch of BS on this trip, and then you actually planned it out, it takes no extra time, and you feed yourself with really rad local things. Like if I'm in Pennsylvania, I'm ordering Scrapple. Right. Do I like it? No. But it's what you eat when you're there.
It's what you do.
Yeah. And go ride past a bunch of Amish people and enjoy your day.
There you go.
So as we wrap it up, Paul, tell us where people can find about the Vintage Moto Show and social, whatever, however they can find you.
All right. Find us on Facebook or Instagram. Colorado Vintage Motorcycle Show. Doesn't get much harder than that.
Are you asking, Scott?
Yeah, you're like, I don't know.
This year's show is June 13th in Erie, Colorado.
Mark your calendars. It's awesome.
Mark your calendars. It's fun. gather some friends, ride across the state, come out. If the guys from New Mexico and Wyoming can come down, you can come up from Lakewood.
Burn.
We're also last year we introduced a bike night, and we're looking at continuing that at a new location to be determined. We'll be posting that to socials and possibly doing some Saturday morning coffee starts. So.
Nice. I like it. All right, Andy, how about you? Where can people find your magic?
Where's Camp Andy?
Yeah. Well, don't give the
Boomerang.
location. Shh.
Boomerang197 is my Instagram. That kind of
Boomerang what?
Boomerang197.
Bingo.
So that's really going to show you who I am and what I do. There's not a lot of pictures on there, so you don't have to spend a day on it or nothing. That's really going to tell you who I am and also how to get a hold of me. You can have my email through that and everything too. So.
And then also remind people of our DAX project where they can watch that.
That's TFL Studios or TFLBike. TFL, the Fast Lane, has several channels, and they have a lot of subscribers. And this man here has always had his stamp on this company and what they do very professionally. I am so honored to be part of that group. The TFL Bike is where you're going to find this charity that Scott has set us up with. And we're going to do probably 3 or 4 videos again like we did the first one.
And finish out with Moab with the ride. And
Yep. That's going to be pretty epic, actually. So, and then you'll see all that stuff posted to my Instagram as it goes along as well.
Nice. Well, thank you, boys. It was a real pleasure. Thank you for all you guys do in the community, helping grow the community, help people love the experience and become new riders. Just love it all.
We love
Thank
this
you.
community. Are you kidding?
It's amazing.
It is.
This is
What a
good
great
energy
group
here.
of weirdos.
That's what we love.
One of us.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, you should probably show up at the next event that we have here in Colorado with Rider Justice. If you want to know where to find that, Motorcycle Rider Justice on Instagram, and you've got riderjustice.com. And if you didn't know, this is another episode of Chasing the Ride.